Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Duck. Thank you for coming by, I do appreciate it. If you enjoy the content of this video or any of my other videos, you can visit the Twitch stream over at twitch.tv/MrAtomicDuck28, where I stream every evening at 8 PM and also on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursdays at 2 PM UK time. I look forward to seeing some new faces very soon. Alongside my post-wipes tip series, subcast series and monthly highlights, I wanted to take the opportunity to look at some loot breakdowns for different maps. I know this has been covered by some other content creators, but I really think there is some emphasis to be put on certain items that spawn in certain areas, rather than big long lists of what you can expect to loot. Rather just looking at some of the key points. I really don't think that a lot of items have a lot of use, whereas other items do have a lot of use. So let's focus on some of the big benefits. Now that Labs is with us as of point 11, I'm sure we'll be taking a look at this in the future. Interchange, however, is a huge part of current progression, so I wanted to target this map as priority. Also been working on this for quite a while and never really got around to finishing it, so yeah. As you can probably tell by now, we're going to be focusing on OLI in this first video, and then we're going to move on to IDEA and Goshan later. It's what we consider valuable looting areas of Interchange, and there's also quite a lot of high traffic in these areas for this reason. They offer a direct input to the mall as well, which a lot of PMCs are going to use this for. They're going to traverse these areas in order just to get to the other sections of the map. If you can best or avoid the PMCs, these areas can offer you some really good loot when it comes to quest items, high value loot items when sold on the flea market, as well as rare items for barter trades. So you can see on the video right now I'm making my way through OLI. And I think the key thing here is to make sure you check all of the shelving units. I've already been through the loading bays, which can be really good for items like tools. So if you're looking for red or yellow pliers, tape, hoses, propane, alkali, anything like that, you can find these in the loading areas and also in the shelving areas of OLI. OLI is great for anything considered tools, miscellaneous items. I mean, it's a hardware store, so it's to be expected. A lot of things that people do miss as well are things like the computers in the central information desks. You can find just between the tills and the second row of shelves most of the time. There's often some info desks, and those will have computers inside them. You'll see me loot those later, and I think these can offer some really good loot. It's important to note again that you may bump into some contact here, and OLI is often one of the biggest. There are about 3 different entrances into this area. We came through one ourselves. There's also an escalator coming up from underneath, which is on my right now. We're just running up to it there. And there's also the main entrance, which is on my front left now. So just be aware of any player contact, especially at the start of the raid. If you're here purely for items, I'd recommend traversing this area at a later date. So make sure you check all the shelves, make sure you check the info desks, and there's also some offices on the left hand side, which can provide some awesome tech items if you need stuff from PCs like hard drives, CPUs, anything along these lines. It's worth noting that a quest item that we spend quite a lot of time looking for, the USB flash drives, spawn in these computers, just like they do in any other computers on the map. So make sure you're checking those if you need that item. It's also worth noting that in the offices and the rooms behind the offices, which are on our hard right when we're behind these desks, there are some Clean Wiper spawns, some bleach spawns, things like that, which are going to be really, really good. Those lockers that I was just searching, you can find valuable items like chainlets, gold chains, or even bitcoins and rollers in those. So it's always worth giving them a scan as you come by this area. So don't miss out on those. Those are really, really valuable items, even when you don't need them for quests. these rooms along here, I think I bypassed the first one here because it actually needs a key, which I don't have currently. I believe that's the OLI office key that you need to get into that room. But there's plenty of computers to be looted. Also some desks that can spawn stuff like alkali, clean wipers and bleach. I think you can find some loose loot in there as well. Very miscellaneous items. And you can find some of the same in the other office right here. So again, if you're into computer spawns, stuff like that, really good rooms to be looting. I wouldn't recommend coming here early on if that's the pure reason you're here. But it can make for a really awesome fight and then some really awesome loot afterwards. So give it a go. These back rooms are what I was talking about with regards to the clean wipers and bleach earlier. It's also worth noting that there is some gun boxes back here that are often missed. A lot of people really don't search these rooms, and you can't blame them. They're kind of out of the way. A lot of people just don't know about them. But if you come through these back rooms, there are some duffel bags as well to be looted. But yeah, there are some weapons cases through here that a lot of people don't loot. And you can find some very valuable items back there. I mean, you can already see from my backpack, we're building up a good supply of just miscellaneous stuff. We've had some loose meds in there, like a Salewa. We've got some hoses, we've got propane tanks. Awesome, awesome stuff. So, as we're moving through these areas, yeah, we don't need to focus on that. Okay, cool. No, other way, left. Okay, there we go. So, gun boxes. Bleach to be found on the side. Gun boxes to be looted. Valuable items. More PCs. So worth looting, guys. So that pretty much sums it up for OLI. Other than this, you can obviously check some other areas like the cash registers. This will require that you need a key. The cash registers used to be a really overused source of income, and they were seriously overpowered. They would give you a lot of money for a very minimal effort. You could loot the entire cash registers while your teammates covered you, or just run like a hatchling run, leave your gamma empty, bring a wallet in there or something, or a docs case, and just fill up on cash. And if you died, who cares? So they have nerfed these a lot in the past, and you can't really blame them. As such, they're not as good as they used to be, but if you're in the area, if you're looking for some cash, could be a good way to go. Definitely worth checking out. The cash registers are a really good source of income, regardless of how much they've been nerfed. They can still get you some cash on the side. There's nothing really in this back storage room here. Sometimes you can find loose items, like screwdrivers, pliers, that sort of thing. Find a Zippo lighter, which can be traded for M67 grenades as well. Generally speaking, though, these are the least liked grenades from what I've found. A lot of people prefer the F1s or the RGDs. So, not everybody's cup of tea, unfortunately. So I'm just going through my inventory here. You can see that I found a lot of items that I don't particularly need, but some good ones, some good highlights. The Salewa, the WD-40, the propane tank, the hose, the alkali, Deshonka, bleach. All of these items can be used for quests or barter trades later. This is one of the info desks I was talking about earlier. Looking for PC items, a really good place to hit. And then there's the cash registers right next to this area as well. A whole round of scavs will spawn along the cash registers, so just keep an eye out for those because they could cause you issues. Most players tend to ignore these scavs or take them out just for the loot. The scavs right now are kind of in a debatable state. They're a little bit dumb. They shouldn't cause you too many issues if you're careful about it. But if they jump you, they're still a good threat, so keep that in mind. It's got another set of lockers right at the front of the store here. So you can see I'm just scanning them up and down, and what will happen is if I find something, a little white dot would come up on my screen as like a context loot marker, especially if your awareness is quite high. It's a really good way to loot those without taking too much time. The scav, which I killed earlier. Now, this area is another set of offices. You can find a bunch of offices through those corridors, so if you're in need of more computer items, it's worth checking. I do end up going back through this area, just to showcase this. All of these offices has potential computers to be looted, and you will need to come here later as well to find the cargo shipment documents. I can't remember if it was these offices specifically that you need to loot, but I do know that a lot of these hold the documents you need, so bear that in mind. And then we're back in the loading bay. I hope that sums up OLI for you guys, and I'll be taking a look at IDEA and Goshan in upcoming videos. Thank you very much for watching, take care, have a good one.